Hello, no one. Welcome to my live stream. If you guys are rewatching this sometime in the future, not cutting the live stream, feel free to just skip ahead for like 5 minutes or so because I'd like to give publishers at least a couple of minutes to join in. Um, it takes me a handful of minutes to gather my bearings and sign in and get everything going. So let's just give everyone at least 4 more minutes. Let's give them to like 10:05 to join and kind of get everything ready. But yeah, again, if you are rewatching this live stream, sometime that's not now, I will be going over some exciting news for our affiliate contest, some of our affiliate cash bonuses. I'll be going through some troubleshooting stuff. I'll be going over setting up Leap. I've got a lot of requests for that in Swiss this week. Also some confusion around maybe comparing them to other site speed tests. So again, if that interests you, um, skip forward. I will be covering that. Just look for, I will screen share. So if you're fast forwarding through the video, just look for the time when the live stream kind of switches over to the dashboard. But then if you're also rewatching this and you're saying, hey, I wish you covered X, Y, and Z in the live stream and I can't watch them live, feel free to just reach out to us and say, hey, Charlie, I didn't get to watch the current live stream, but I'd like to rewatch them in the future so I don't get to add my, specific suggestions now. So maybe could you cover, going over, optimizing cache or, troubleshooting low UPnV. Just give me references and then I can cover them in the future for other live streams moving forward. But yeah, let's give everyone a handful of minutes. If you guys are just joining, I see we have a few in here now. As you can see in the bottom left corner, my name is Charlie. I'm from the Access Now onboarding team. You probably see me a lot in Twist, maybe a little bit in tickets, but I will also be introducing probably myself 4 or 5 more times later in the stream. So, forgive me if I sound like a broken record, but kind of people like jump in and out of the stream. So sometimes I might repeat a thing or two, including just introducing myself. But for the few that are in here now, feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. If you haven't joined one of these live streams before, you can do what Tanzil just did. You can basically say, hey, I'm facing a problem with my traffic is the same, but revenue is down. That's a perfect example of a question. You can do something like that, or you can even say something like, hey, I wish we had this product or this feature or this process as part of the Access Now program. We'll accept that as well. You can say, hey, I hate this about the Access Now program. We can also go over that because, your guys' perspective is the most valid out of everyone's. You guys are here, continuously working with the product and kind of interacting with us. So yeah, you can really use the comment section for whatever you want. You can ask me something personal about myself, get to know me. You can ask us anything about Ezoic, from a company standpoint, kind of our perspective on the market. You can ask us future directions of where we're going, where we might be going, where we would like to be going. Maybe we can talk about things that have held us back. But yeah, we really just want to use this, hour and a half, 2 hours to basically cover whatever benefits you guys the most. So whether it's you saying, hey, Charlie, I need you to look into my domain. You can share your screen if you want, but I'd like you to just troubleshoot this firsthand. I can show you guys how I do it. So, if you have, for whatever reason, you guys have the same question, you can kind of see how I work on my end. And then you guys can kind of become your own best advocate in terms of troubleshooting and optimization. But I will first off say, Tanzil, I know you've been in here before. I know you've been into Twist. So I would say, A, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming back. Anoha, hopefully I said that right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But hello to you as well. I'm curious where you guys are checking in from today. You guys can obviously, not share that if you don't want to, but I'm currently in Carlsbad, California. I'm at our San Diego headquarters. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but we do have a couple headquarters around the world. I'm not sure if Ezoic specifically says like this is our main one, but I think it is our biggest office, and we also have the most quantity of employees here. We also have one over in London, in the UK. We have people in France. We have people, working the Latin market. But yeah, I'm curious where you guys are checking in from. I think it's cool. We all just kind of like tune into our computers. Doesn't matter where you are. We can be in California. You can be in Kenya. You can be in Australia. You can be from Virginia. See the best places. I was actually in Virginia 72 hours ago. I actually grew up over on the East Coast of the United States, from the Washington, D.C. area, but I was just in Virginia Beach seeing some friends. Just had a long weekend. And I'm not just stalling. I'm not just going off random things. I promise we will go into Ezoic material, but we're kind of just giving people some more time to jump in here. But yeah, awesome. I see you're from Virginia. I'm curious what part. Again, you don't have to specify, but Virginia's a cool place. It's absolutely beautiful. I think this time of year is definitely one of my favorite. I mean, over the next month or so, you'll see the leaves change. It's going to be like orange and brown and yellow and beautiful. The Atlantic Ocean in Virginia right now is like 75 degrees. Um, so a lot of cool stuff there. Tanzio, I'm more than happy to go into this right now. I can cover this and basically troubleshoot this firsthand if you would like me to. I don't know if you guys can see his comments. I can highlight them. Tanzil basically says this is a perfect example of a question we can cover. He goes, facing problem. Traffic is the same, but revenue is down. He further clarifies, I've made a little bit of changes in my site, so that's why off the Ezoic for some time. After some time, when I back, this issue is occurred. So Tanzil, I have a couple questions, some follow-up questions, because as you guys will, if you have not realized yet, you will soon, is that it's not always one specific thing that goes into, why traffic could be down or not. There's a handful of things we want to look into. Maybe there's Google Search Console errors. I'm curious what changes you made on your end. Maybe you changed your CMS. Maybe you changed your theme. Those can all come into play here. But if you did make those changes, my most immediate and my first initial thought is that the issue with the same amount of traffic and lower earnings is that whatever changes you made, they probably were to the layout or maybe the CSS of the page. You could have lost some placeholders along the way. So Tanzio, before going into this specifically and pulling up your domain, I want to say, if you did make those traffic changes, excuse me, not the traffic changes, the layout changes, that's definitely going to be the first thing. But I can actually show you exactly how to do that. And some of the older live streams, we were actually having issues where, you guys couldn't comment your domain names down in the comment section. So you're saying, hey, I have this issue. This is my domain. Can you pull it up? I give you permission firsthand to pull this up. So if you guys want to do me a little test run, I know Tanzil is using Facebook. The real issue is with YouTube. So if anyone on YouTube is comfortable with sharing their domain name in the comment section, just for an example to see if those privacy settings did work, could you try that for me now? If you do try it and it doesn't work or and it doesn't show, or I don't say, hey, I see your comment, that is definitely something we want to maybe either, fix obviously for the next live stream, but we can also find maybe just a little loophole. Maybe you guys can Tanzil's, for example, was, this was his domain name. So if you were commenting this on YouTube and you were to do, eduhelp.pk, maybe you just say, hey, Charlie, here's my domain name, just like edu space help space .pk, and obviously I can connect the dots and go from there. But when you guys do want to comment your domain names down in the comment section, just let me know if it's okay that I can, share my screen and share your domain with others. I don't want to, give out information if you guys are not comfortable with it. But as the questions are kind of stacking up, I do want to maybe just get going with this. I appreciate you guys kind of be patient with me while I stall to let others join in. But again, now that we've kind of doubled our size, I want to say, another quick introduction. My name is Charlie. I'm from the Ezoic Access Now onboarding team. You guys see me in a handful of different places. Mark, welcome back. Mohammed's in. It's great to see you guys. Mark, hopefully we have some exciting updates from you. Again, you kind of know how this works. But Mark, I think you are actually the one that gave me the suggestion of going into my privacy settings so you guys can comment your domain name. Could you give me a little test run and just, it doesn't have to be your domain name specifically, but could you try to comment into the comment section? And if I do see a domain, I'll verbally say it. But if not, we're gonna have to figure out a loop around. But I'm gonna answer Pratik's question before I jump into yours really quick, Tinzil. He says, why is Ezoic live chat not available for some days? So we're gonna be covering mostly everything Access Now related. So why live chat is not always available for support outside of Access Now, I'm not 100% sure, but our Access Now team covers everything in our Twitch channels. Hopefully you are familiar with that. But if not, it's basically like an open-ended Discord similar to how Slack is. So it's is somewhat of a live stream, or excuse me, a live chat. The latest you can basically expect a response is like 3 hours. Sometimes over the weekend, you might wait a little bit longer, but we do actually check Twist over the weekends every single day, so you do get it covered. During Monday through Friday business hours, we cover these channels 24 hours of the day. So we have our UK team early, then we have us during PST hours, and then we have others over on the other side of the world that cover the channels. So basically, you can write in any time of the day, even if it's urgent and immediate, and say, hey, my site's down. We need to figure this out. Even if we're on the off hours, we will get a touch onto you. That was a little exaggerated, but you get the idea. Twist is a super really useful tool for you all in order to get in touch with us. It's not snail mail. I think snail mail was previously, I'm gonna write a handwritten letter. I'm gonna get a stamp. I'm gonna send it to the post office. I think now snail mail in terms of support and from a scale perspective is now going to be emails because it's not as instantaneous and it's not like an instant messenger type thing. So yeah, but to go back to Tanzil's, if you guys just joined, he was saying that he made some changes to his site. Traffic is the same, but revenue is down. My initial thought was that let me pull up his site. My initial thought was that he made layout changes or maybe theme changes or maybe even an entire CMS change, and some of the placeholders have been lost. If placeholders get lost on your pages, that will be a direct correlation with lower revenue. So on the contrary, if you're thinking, hey, well, does that also mean the correlation exists between more placeholders and higher revenue? Yes, it does. Of course, up to a certain amount. You don't want 1,000 placeholders on your site. It might take the AI a really, really long time to learn, but there is a correlation between having more placeholders up to a certain point and higher revenue. The reason why this works is because if you want to think about how our AI does operate, previously before AI would be A/B testing. Let's try this layout and this layout, this location, this location. Our AI is saying, hey, we actually have 40 potential locations. We have maybe 6 to 7 different sizes for each placeholder. So now you're running across hundreds of thousands of different variations that can be tested across 3-4 months if you're seeing 10,000 page views in a month. So in terms of that correlation, that's kind of the reason why it does exist. But let me pull up Tanzil's site really quick. Pulling it up in it right now. But Tanzil, that is a great question. I do see that you were off Ezoic from basically the 30th of last month all the way till about 10 days or so. It does look like the traffic wasn't as strong as it was before. You were seeing about 16,000 visits a day to now maybe 14, 15, 10,000. But your EPMB did decrease a good bit for the past couple of days, so that this is an interesting metric to read. The first thing I will do when I'm you guys, I will basically be going into BDA. Troubleshooting most data things will obviously be through the analytics. Sorry, I was just reading through some of the comments. But I'm going to share my screen so I can actually show you. Hopefully you guys find this really beneficial. And if you guys are saying, hey, Charlie, I'd love to have the same thing done to mine for maybe a separate issue, feel free to throw your domain down in the comment section. We'll definitely go from there. Your screen, window. Cool. So this is basically what it'll look like from your guys. So we are currently looking, if you guys are not familiar, I might go off, the run a little bit just to get you guys familiar with everything. But we can actually view, all platforms, which will collect and show all the data from both your Ezoic versions of your pages and the old site. So know what you were kind of running previous to the CDN. Let's stick with the Ezoic platform. I don't know why this is automatically suggesting August through here, but let's not do that. What I basically want to look at is let's do the 14th till, what was the day you came back on? I think it was the 8th. So let's do, the last 7 days or so, 6 days or so, and we can actually just select here and go compare so we can see from the previous week. Actually, this will kind of skew our data a bit because he was actually down these couple days, so we're gonna have to get a little bit flexible. Let's not compare, and let's grab data from the last 7 days because this is basically gonna be when he came back on the platform. and we can kind of troubleshoot working backwards. So we can see he has an average EPMV of about $1 and some cents. His traffic is very high. Well done. Engagement looks solid. One thing to consider when looking at EPMV, if you're saying, hey, I think this is a lower EPMV, we want to think of A, traffic source, and B, how your users are engaging with your pages. So he has an average engagement time of about 23 seconds, which is on the lower side of things, but still pretty solid. Bounce rate of 31%. That's very normal. Engaged page views solid. But basically what I wanted to get to, I wanted to go to his content and to his landing pages. Let's see if we can specify one area of his content that might be underperforming compared to the rest. So if we were to look, this page right here, this one's very solid. Let me just pull. This is also a cool feature of using the analytics. You can kind of just drag this over. So if we wanted to primarily look at EPMV, we can see the landing page, to the visit numbers, straight to the EPMV. This could be a good, easy, clear indication of where we can go from here. So as we can see, this page clearly has a little bit of a significantly higher EPMV compared to this one. So the first thing I want to do is let's just check out this page firsthand. And basically, let's just access this page as if we were a user. So no, he has the results from this, Synboard SSC check online. I'm seeing, a top of the top of the page ad, right here. I do have some concerns about this one, only because I'm curious to see if this is actually an Ezoic ad. I see one here. This looks solid. So I'm seeing like a pretty conservative ad layout. In terms of optimization, one of the best things that you can do, if you guys are all comfortable with this, just off first glance, is creating a sidebar. Creating a sidebar and adding some content can direct your users to future pages that they might also be interested. So you're going to be increasing, your total revenue. You'll be controlling where the users are going. So maybe you can have more. Oh, just like this. Okay, you do have one. So yeah, this is a great way to control where your users could be going. But one of the best things to do is optimize the sidebar in terms of placeholders. I would say add a top of the sidebar, top of the page placeholder here. I would say maybe place one in the middle. And then I would also say include one down here right below the content. And for this one, we can add this one, what we call a sidebar floating. What a sidebar floating ad does, when I scroll down the page, it'll stay in the field of view. So this will be a really good performing placeholder. So this is not just in terms of Tanzil's question, but this is also in terms of just EPMV optimization or revenue optimization in total. Adding a floating sidebar here actually does not hurt UX at all, or not at all, but it doesn't really hurt UX much at all. We have millions of data points to show that testing these sidebar placeholders doesn't hurt user metrics poorly at all, and the benefits of in terms of revenue are tenfold. So that would be basically the first thing I want to do. I'm actually gonna stop sharing my screen really quick. I realized I need to add something to my Chrome. That will be very essential to the troubleshooting. So excuse me, that's my bad. Cool. Sorry about that. I thought I added the Chrome extension previously, but I just added it in there. Cool. So sorry about that. Let me just do the questions really quick. Yeah, I will kind of wrap this up a little bit quicker because I see you guys have a handful of questions, and I don't want you guys to be waiting around while I kind of mosey through this. Let me share my screen really quick because I do think utilizing the Chrome extension is very important here, not only for this troubleshooting, but for some other ones I want to do as well. Share my screen. Let's go back to his page. So the next thing I want to do, let's pin this. So this is basically how the Chrome extension will look when you guys open it. I'm not sure if you guys are brand new or returning and saying, "Duh, we've seen this." But then we can see activate placeholders. What this will do is basically show all the potential ad locations that Tanzil has basically said it's okay for AI to test. So we see the top of the page. We see one here. See, this is the sidebar. You see no placeholders here. He's added both. This is a placeholder added through the Chrome extension because you see under page title. Compared to this one, this is WP, which means all these WP ones are the ones that he's actually added through the plugin. So Tanzil, I want to say in terms of doing that, that's awesome. That's a really good job. Many people will add placeholders using the Chrome extension and just from the plugin and walk away. That is a good practice. But if you really want to put in the extra effort, adding more using the Chrome extension will be really beneficial. Scrolling, I'm now not too far below the fold here. So your users will be getting to these spots, and I'm seeing kind of a big chunk of area here where you could add probably a handful of placeholders. I want you guys to remember that placeholders are not fixed ad locations. These are just potential ad locations. So if you're saying, hey, Charlie, I understand what you're saying with the correlation between more placeholders and more revenue, but I think adding this many placeholders is not the best practice because it'll be too many ads. It's actually the opposite. They're just potential ad locations for our AI to test. And of course, our AI, once it learns your site and learns your users and their engagement and everything and whatnot, our AI will not be testing locations that are proven to hurt UX. That's basically how it's built out. So in general, I will say the thing that's holding you back in terms of EPMB is going to be your placeholder setup. It is solid. You also have AI placeholders engaged. I want to say one thing you should do is definitely add those sidebar placeholders. I could do those for you if you want me to. Let me know if you want me to share my screen again, and I can show you guys how to do that. But another thing I would like to go into is just I like to see audience by location. This will give you a good idea of where your users are coming from. So as you guys can see in this graph, most of them are coming from Pakistan. That's awesome. Kind of a comparative figure I like to show here is like, you are seeing a much higher EPMB from the US. Engagement, of course, is a little bit lower, but as expected, this is, a site more directed toward the Pakistan market. But this is a good indication to also see, maybe if your Pakistan traffic metrics were similar to another country that has similar ad rates, you can say, hey, the ad rate should be linking up or showing similar. But Tanzil, I'm just gonna have a follow-up question saying, what changes did you make to your setup? And then from there, your placeholder setup is basically gonna be your best step forward. There's a handful of other things I would look into to see if you have objectionable content, things of that sort. Without going too much of a rabbit hole, I'll leave it there. I'll let you have some follow-up questions, go from there. But again, let me catch up on some of these responses. 24 hours or 7 says hello. Hello to you as well. Thank you for joining. See the best places. My friend from Virginia says, what next steps do you recommend after Google approves a domain for setting up ad testing? So this is basically opening up the floodgates for you to earn revenue. That's going to be the last step. See the best places. What I would say is, Ezoic will almost 99.9% of the time approve your domain before Google does, just because we want to make sure that we're not the ones slowing down this process, just to be transparent. So if you're saying, oh, I finally got approval for Google, that is going to mean that you are now allowed to show ads. So I would say the next best step forward is to do what I just did, go to your analytics, go to your top landing pages, make sure they're just full of placeholders, top to bottom. You have a wide variety of them. They're dense from top to bottom. I would also go to some of your longer pages to make sure that you also have placeholders showing in the bottom half there, because if you do have users engaging with the entire page, you want to make sure that the entire setup top to bottom is dialed in. Another thing I would also say is go to your levels dashboard. You'll actually see all the EPMB optimization opportunities there, from beginner, novice, all the way to expert. That's going to be from, having dense placeholders, having a wide variety of placeholders, having sidebar placeholders, no objectionable content. You want to make sure your caching is good. You want to make sure you have responsive ads set up. But it'll basically cover everything that Ezoic has feature-wise, from a beginner to expert standpoint. So that's going to be your best, most immediate one. Also, see the best places. Something you should do is when you're visiting your top landing pages, obviously just go through your pages as if you were a user. It's kind of hard to sometimes put that perspective into your head because you've seen your pages so many times, probably with or without ads. So it might be a little bit of a surprise because things will be changed and it'll be different. But if you're, if you want to go into the perspective of a user standpoint, you want to make sure that all your content is still the main object of the page. So if you have, if you do have an ad going outside the layout, that's something we can easily configure and fix. If you have an ad showing in between a list, like an LI element or an OL element, that's something we can also change. That's an easy fix. But if you do see an ad showing you like, hey, even if the AI finds this to be a solid testing location, I personally really don't like it. I want you guys to remember that even when you integrate with Ezoic, and DNS into a deep level, you still have 100% control over the layout, the DNS, the integration, and everything from there. So you can delete placeholders, you can remove them from certain pages. You still have full control over where you want the ads to show, as long as you're, still understanding the utilization of ad tester from an AI perspective. And I kind of just as to take a step back, I kind of vent and rant and kind of go off some random tangents. So if I do answer your question and I go off on a spiel and I don't touch on exactly what you wanted me to answer, feel free to just call me out and say, hey, Charlie, can you take a step back for this question and kind of go over this again? I'll be more than happy to. I submitted my site for review to Google. So do you have a look? It's Texas. I'm nearly 100% positive I know your site. I know we talked about this a bit yesterday in Twist, and I did look into it. Things did look better. I think there were some repeating articles across a couple different categories. But the important thing here is just let Google basically review your site for now. And then we can kind of go from there. If they approve, beautiful. We can help from there. If they deny, that's okay. We can do a lot to change and get the approval. Mohammed, I know you've been working with us for a minute to get this approval. So A, thank you for sticking with that. B, great determination, and C, it'll only lead to good things moving forward. I want you to remember that we have seen thousands of denials in terms of the Google denial. So we have gotten pretty good about finding the things that are kind of leading to a denial, so we can kind of proactively point these things out so you can change them. Mark says, hi team. I'll say, hey Mark, thanks for joining again. Love having you back here. Happy to have you. As you know, this is like my favorite part of my week, so I'm happy you guys are here joining me with it. There seems to be a lot wrong with my site, and I would like us to go into it. Maybe the team can also learn from it. Perfect. I love problems. I think problems are a perfect opportunity for improvement. So I think this is a great idea. Mark, if you could do me a favor and drop your domain down in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to pull that up. Cool. I don't see your comment yet with your domain name, Mark. If you are saying, hey, I'm actually adding my domain name, why aren't you seeing it in the comment section? That's an issue because I did change those settings. So you guys should be allowed to comment whatever you would like. So Mark, can you actually add your domain down to the comment section if it's okay? And if it doesn't work and it doesn't go through in the next 60 seconds, what I'm gonna have you do is basically add your domain, maybe with a space between the words in your domain name, and exclude the .com or .org, and I can basically find it there through a search function. But I agree, this is a good opportunity. I really want to pronounce your name correctly because it's only fair. But a little bit of a side comment, I want to say, awesome profile picture. Something our team loves to do is go-kart. We have a go-kart track down the street. Not going to go too much of a rabbit hole down there, but he or she says, greetings, Charlie. Hope you're doing well. May you kindly assist. I have Leap activated on my site, and I have them noticed that the infinity scrolling, which was active on my site, is now dysfunctional. I was hoping Ezoic allows infinity scrolling. You may be able to assist getting it reactivated soon. Site name, interres.com. Okay, so I can troubleshoot you a bit for this, but I want you to do a little bit of homework really quick, and I want you to basically tell me that if you disable Leap, does this infinity scroll feature work? Because if it does after you disable it, that'll be a much easier backlog in terms of troubleshooting. But again, you're saying you activated Leap, then the issue persisted. So let's make sure that Leap is the root cause of this issue. To move on, Sport Life says, hello, and welcome back. If you guys have been here before, Sport Life has been with us for a while. So welcome back. They say, hey man, I have a site with 100 articles, but only seeing 23 visits per day after about 14 months. Should I consider starting a new site or push through with this one? Goal is 100K a month. So that's totally fine. I don't think, just simply adding an article, regardless of the content, is just gonna, be an influx of traffic. You want to, do keyword research. You really want to do some SEO research, for your market, for your keywords, for your titles. But once you've actually created these articles, that's actually awesome. But now I want you to utilize these articles and make edits and changes to further improve your SEO efforts, because you can turn these into, better traffic by, gaining rankings. And sometimes these older articles can, come to surface again. Sometimes Google changes their algorithm updates. You can improve your keyword research. But I really want you to actually focus on the content itself, opposed to actually just, spitting out hundreds of articles. Like writing 100 articles is amazing, and it's definitely something we want to promote and keep doing. But I want you to consider that the quality of content for each article is just as important as the quantity of articles written. Quality and quantity really going to come into play here. But as you guys know, especially with the most recent Google update, that high quality content is going to be the biggest focus going forward and for ranking. So I want to say, beautiful job done, like getting those 100 articles out. That is a ton of work. That's a ton of time. Kudos to you. That's amazing. But now let's kind of shift the focus to, more SEO optimization and actually get those articles ranking maybe on the first, second page of Google. And that's when you'll kind of really see the influx of traffic, organic traffic. And this organic traffic is actually going to be engaging with your pages the best. And that's when your revenue will really skyrocket, because this goal of 100, 1,000 a month is for sure doable. It's been done and is being done by you guys already. But yeah, I would love to take a look at it. I don't remember your domain name. If you could add your domain name down in the comment section. Oh, okay, awesome. Mark, I see your domain down in the bottom now without the .com or whatever it is. So perfect. I'm a little frustrated why it didn't work the first time. But let me pull this up for you. Let's pull up Mark's domain and let's see exactly what issues he was having. Got it. Cool. Just looking off the, some of the current data, I see you had a nice little spike in traffic yesterday, up to 68 users a day. EPMV kind of, fluxes a lot between the days just because there's a lower number of traffic, so the variance can be really high. Let's go to your pub dash. Mark, if you have specifically where I should be looking into this, that'll kind of help maybe say, hey, these are actually the errors and issues I was seeing. We can, try to do this. But let me share my screen really quick just so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I might move like kind of quick and whatnot, but just bear with me while I try to find exactly where the issues are going. So let's start with this dashboard. Its cache hit rate is kind of going up and down. Mark, I would say this is fine. If you're making a lot of changes to your site and clearing cache, this is normal. But if you're not, allow your cache just to increase by basically doing nothing over time. Again, it looks like the traffic was, a little low here, but it seems to have picked up over the past couple days. You did see 4 cents of earning. This is, that variance between 5 visits and 60 is not that far out. It looks like your site might have been down or off, or maybe you just weren't seeing as many users for these days. But it's kind of hard to exactly say, this is the issue, because with such low traffic, it's nice to see some consistency and whatnot. Home page looks really great. I'm seeing bottom of the page, just a couple on the sidebar, a couple sprinkled in here and there. This looks awesome. Let's go to how to think of a business ideas. Let's say I'm a user. We're going through here. No top of the page, that's totally fine. It looks like an ad is filling here on the top of the sidebar. You're also having this scroll one. This is for you. Looks like the sidebar scrolls with the page, which is totally fine. But you can have this basically scroll stop, and then you can add a sidebar below that. Play ad setup is definitely on like the lighter side of things. But let's see how it looks with the Chrome extension enabled. Let's pin it really quick to make my life a little bit easier. Activate placeholders. Let's go back to the top. So as you guys can see again, he's added them using the plugin. That's an awesome practice. Here's a sidebar, WordPress. This looks pretty solid. There's definitely area to add more in here. If you guys are saying, I actually also see some gaps like this, but I don't want to go through every page and add them to the Chrome extension, we actually have a new feature for this, which is a really kind of underutilized one. If you guys are in the monetization tab right here, you guys can actually go to general settings. Oh, you know what? He does have these on AI placeholders. AI placeholders will kind of find pages, places on your pages where placeholders could be added. This is something I can check in more later on. But yeah, you can also see, you can enable vignette ads if you're trying to boost revenue. We have a couple different ad units you can try through our beta ad formats, and also our floating video. This is a really good one. I definitely will be going on a video tangent. So here's an AI placeholder. I will be going on a video tangent here in a second. But yeah, this looks pretty solid, honestly. You have your bottom of the page one. So I'm not exactly sure what the issue is with your site. Honestly, things look pretty solid. This is just kind of one last little thing I like to always check. You can just go up. It'll be under the content part of your dashboard here. But you can actually just go here and go, sorry, my J key is stuck. You guys can blame our lead Jan. He spilled coffee on the J key. It's not my fault. But yeah, this is another cool feature we have now. We actually, it'll show basically your broken pages, your broken links. Some of this is just an image, JPEG. Seems like most of these are JPEGs, which is fine. But this is what I like to check out for if you guys are seeing kind of, something's wrong with my revenue or earnings. Objectionable content will basically be a script that runs your pages twice a day, and it'll flag any page that is basically inappropriate or like a curse word, for example, and ads will not be allowed to show on those pages. So this is kind of a good thing to check. If you're saying, hey, Charlie, I'm writing about baby formula, why would I ever be using an inappropriate word? Well, sometimes if you don't have your comments filtered, sometimes, publishers can actually comment something on your pages. And if that comment gets flagged on the page, ads can actually be stopped from showing that, or can be stopped from showing. So that's something good to check. But Mark, we can go into that a bit more, but honestly, looks pretty solid. Just the main thing I would say is, continue writing content, continue working on your SEO efforts, and go from there. But honestly, the site looks great. I'll also say, well done with that. I know you've been working really hard on that, so that's really good. Muhammad said, I linked my website yesterday to Ezoic and it's not working. Could you, when you guys kind of write in and say, it's not working, can you just clarify a bit more of what exactly you guys are looking for? Let me fly through some of these questions. Already added in the sidebar, but it's not showing. So I will actually change it. I was not actually seeing a sidebar placeholder there. We can work through that in Twist, or I can actually show you how to add one here in a bit if you'd really like me to. Kasun or Kijun, excuse me if I said that incorrectly. I enabled Leap and on JavaScript minify option, but indicates some ads, unused JS and CSS file in Google PageSpeed Mobile. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying here. So if you're going through and optimizing your Leap, you can A, have yourself do it, or B, you can have someone like a Leap specialist set up for yourself. So if you're having trouble setting this step up, but in terms of just setting this up, you actually just want to turn on that feature and then just preview your site to make sure everything works. But that's really all it's going to be from your end. You don't have to be doing too much. So I didn't even fully read this top to bottom, but if I were to pick away, I had more views in comparison to the ones I had the day before, compared according to my Jetpack and analytics. However, that wasn't the case with the Ezoic stats. Yesterday recorded lower views than the day before, which was the opposite of what Jetpack analytics. I have no clue as to why. So one of the biggest issues with this question and issue that you're having is actually that Jetpack is not compatible with the Ezoic. I will use the word whatsoever. It blocks, as you can tell, the main issue is data collection. It can block our scripts from showing, so sometimes ads won't populate. Sometimes it can show non-Ezoic versions of your pages. So actually, Jetpack is just going to be something you should remove from your site entirely. All the features in Jetpack, I know it can be a good feature, are actually offered through Ezoic. So you can just replace Jetpack with all the Ezoic features available there. If there are features in Jetpack that are not available in Ezoic, we can easily make those changes and try to add them for you. But again, Jetpack is not compatible with Ezoic. You will always see data discrepancy, lower revenue, and other issues while using Jetpack. Tanzio once says he wants me to add a placeholder in this sidebar. I can definitely do that for you. Let me just show you guys how to do that because this is a really good question, and I can easily cover this in just a minute too. I know we're already an hour in, or 40 minutes in, and I haven't really got to the questions yet. But I'm more than happy to run this longer if needed. I really have no issue with that at all. I'd rather get to your all questions and cover them correctly than not at all. Share screen, window, share. Cool. So if you're sitting here like Tanzil and saying, okay, let's add a sidebar, the first thing we're going to do is go to the Chrome extension. Boom. We're going to go from view to create right here. We're going to click on create. You just do automatically detect. This is an easy one. Select location. And then let's say, let's find, sometimes it's best to add placeholders, to the entire sidebar div. But as you guys can tell, he doesn't really have an entire sidebar div placed out. So sometimes this is a little bit of R&D. But let's attach it to this sidebar widget right here. You can easily add this placeholder to the bottom of this element or div, or to the top of it just by doing something like that. You can also hit this and it'll basically select the parent element. So if I were to click this, this will select the parent element of the entire, sidebar div, which actually might be our most beneficial thing here. Or you can hit this, which will find basically the child element, and see how it fits a little bit better in the box here. Let's insert here. This is a very crucial step because if I don't, once I go to sidebar top, it doesn't automatically do, but I'm actually going to write this down. So this is a good suggestion. Once you click sidebar, you want to make sure that you turn this off for mobile. For obvious reasons, you don't have a sidebar in mobile. So if you populate this placeholder to your mobile pages as well, it can create lots of issues. Let's save the placeholder. Successfully saved. You can see it there in the sidebar. Let's just go ahead and add one to this here. See how I selected the whole. Let's go to the end of the element, insert here. We're going to go to a sidebar floating. So this sidebar floating will be the floating sidebar, of course. Excuse my word choice there. But again, deselect mobile, off, save placeholder. Beautiful. We get the success message. Let's turn off the edit mode so it'll go back to the view. And then from there, what I like to do is, I can see them both there. Let's go to the Chrome extension, deactivate, and let's see how these sidebars go. This is a really good troubleshooting step. So if you guys do make changes to your site like this and you want to review the page again, what you guys can do, as you guys can see, at the end of your URL, I can do !, no cache, and no cache. And basically what this will do, this will access the page bypassing all cache. So if that page was previously cached without the sidebars, I can basically do this as a troubleshooting step. And this will show the newest version of the page. It looks like this sidebar ad is now generating to the top. That's of course the one we added above. And then look, we also have the sidebar here. I'm not sure if this is just not floating because it is on the home page. But as you guys can see, this was just a caching issue. So I could do, question mark sidebar, question mark no cache and view it. The next thing I like to do is let's just go to a page here, because if I added this sidebar to this div, if this div is not on your actual articles, then the placeholder will not transfer over to other pages. But if this page was built out the same as your home page is in terms of the sidebar, why can I not get this to load? Hold on. I think it was cached into like a vignette there. Okay, perfect. So now you can see he uses the same div. He now has this top of the sidebar one here. He's gonna have this sidebar floating. And as you guys can see now that this page is a little bit longer, once you get this ad to fill, as you guys know, content always loads first because, in terms of user experience, loading the content is obviously the primary goal and the most important thing here. But as you guys can see, they will not always fill. Sometimes it's good to just build up a little bit of a demand for your ad partners. So maybe not the first view it'll show, but you guys can see that they are populating. But yeah, that's basically how we would add a sidebar there. Stop sharing. Hopefully that was beneficial to you guys. I would love to do more of that type of troubleshooting. Technical Master says, I have an issue whenever I want to integrate Ezoic with Cloudflare. It shows me error. Same DNS, CDM, CNAME exists, and CNAME host. So in that actual error message that you see in the dashboard, it'll basically tell you just to rename one of the DNS records in Cloudflare to, I believe, a CNAME record, or it's going from a CNAME to an ad. I'll have to double check that because I don't want to give you misinformation here. But we can also help with this on our end. We can actually just unroot one of the records through Cloudflare. So yeah, reach out to us in Twist, Technical Master, and that'll basically be where we can help you. We can show you exactly what to change, where to change, and we can also help from our side. To add on to that, Technical Master has to be one of the better names in here. Not trying to turn this into a competition, guys, but Technical Master, awesome name. I'd love to have you in here. John says, I have added my new site, but ads can't show. What could be the issue? Monetization has been approved. John, there's a lot of things that we need to look into here. We need to make sure you're integrated correctly, you're routing through our CDN. Clearly, you're approved for monetization, but it sounds like my best guess is that the ad manager step still needs to be completed. So yeah, that's going to be huge. But again, without knowing your domain name, I won't be able to basically troubleshoot this firsthand. So please reach out to us in Twist, and directly after this, I'll go in there and help you out with that first thing. But how do I remove interstitial ads? I can actually show you how to do this. So I don't know if you're doing this through an app or if it's just for your mobile pages, but if you can offer more insight, but if you also mean interstitial as in like it's just a vignette ad, you can actually just go into your monetization tab, go to your ad test or general settings, and you can actually just disable vignette ads for certain devices. Turning Point says, hi, I'm a Ezoic publisher. Some days my total revenue balance automatically decreases, but why? So I've actually seen this question a handful of times, and I think it's actually just a misunderstanding of what this actually is. If you're looking at the homepage of the dashboard and that's the total revenue you're talking about, that will actually only be from the previous 30 days. So let's say 31 days ago, you earned $100, which is a really good day, and the rest of the days you're earning 50. Coming to today, that it will exclude the 31st day of revenue. So now it'll just be, the sum of the last 30 days, which will be, $50 a day. So then you'll be saying, yeah, I'm gonna have $150 instead of, the $200 in total. So you want to think about the estimated revenue from the past 30 days. I just want to check something really quick with this meeting room, make sure I'm not getting kicked out of here. Damn, I am about to get kicked out of here. What the heck? Well, that's annoying. We'll have to figure that out. Someone scheduled a meeting for 11, which is confusing because I have this open for 2 hours. But before I go further into questions, I kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of updates from some really exciting things from our end. The first thing that I want to talk about is basically we've revamped our entire affiliate program. You guys might say, oh, that that doesn't really interest me, but I think as you guys are website publishers, you're very in touch with the community and other website publishers as well. So if you're thinking, how do I utilize my network to my best potential, kind of joining in through our new affiliate program is going to be massive. We do have a really exciting contest going on for the month of September. If this is new to you, that's okay. You can still win this competition. But basically, the winner of the competition will basically be whoever has the most referrals for the month of September. So we're already at the 15th and it goes through the 30th. But basically, the most amount of referrals will actually get a content package. I'm reading this because I don't want to mess it up. It's going to be from this company called Content Refined. You can go to their website and kind of see. They're kind of like a content creation SEO specialist type of. They sell like these type of like package deals where they can actually write content for you and stuff like that. So the first place winner for the September contest will get basically this really awesome package from Content Refined. What this will actually include is 5,000 words of written content for you guys. So if you guys win this contest and you're getting 5,000 words, you can say, hey, let's do 500 words an article. You're looking at 10 articles. This is also going to include, you're going to get a project manager as part of this package. Sorry, I'm not sure why I have this highlighted. You'll get a project manager for this. They will also do keyword research in terms of SEO. They will also help you with title creation for these. They will also include your SEO optimization in terms of keyword, as I said before. But they will also help you publish this to your site. Excuse me there, I forgot how to speak English for a second. But yeah, so this is super exciting. So you can also say, hey, maybe I want one article with 5,000 words. The data might not show that's the best practice. But this is a huge reward for you guys, especially in the Access Now program. My probably best piece of advice would say maybe 5 articles, 1,000 words each. Remember, you get a manager, SEO optimization. They help you publish things and etc. How to join? I want you guys to go to affiliates.ezoic.com, and all you have to basically do is sign up. Say this is my domain, this is my email, and then you'll basically go through like a small bit of coursework just to show you guys exactly the best practices for this. It's not going to be extensive. There's not a test. It's not anything terrible, I promise you. But yeah, affiliates.ezoic.com, and then basically complete it there. There are also cash rewards for the referral program. This is not, for the affiliate program. This is not just for the month of September. This is for all. So let's say I were to refer a publisher that earns $10 a month. You're actually going to get a $10 cash bonus directly to your earnings. This is automatically sent to you. You'll get an email, of course, but basically say, I referred Mark's website. And Mark comes on, he earns $10 a month. I'm getting $10. So we're 100% matching the revenue made. That's going to go just directly to your revenue, directly to your earnings. If you were to refer a publisher that makes $100 a day, you get a $20 cash bonus. If you refer a publisher that does $200 a day in revenue, that's a $50 cash bonus. If you refer a publisher that does $400 or more in a month, you actually get a $100 cash bonus to this. And I say it's a cash bonus because as part of the affiliate program, including these cash bonuses, you get 3% of their earnings also added to your account. So let's say I were to refer a $100 publisher, I'm getting a $20 cash bonus, and I'm getting 3% of their earnings matched to my account for every month going forward. So we actually had a smaller Access Now publisher refer someone that does $100,000 in a month. So if you guys have that network and that connection, you guys can think of what 3% of $100,000 a month can do for you in terms of literally nearly, somewhat of a mini salary. But yeah, this is just a really exciting opportunity for you guys to kind of tap into that market. We already have 16 winners for the $10. We already have three winners for the $20, three winners for the $50 bonus, and we already have one winner for the $100 cash bonus. So that's going to be a really, really exciting feature going forward. I really hope I don't get kicked out of this room because I want to run this live stream for another 2 hours, to be honest. Says, and one more thing, bro. I did see level access now button in my account. Awesome. That's awesome. That means you probably were given access to your levels dashboard. Oh, site speed and site goes offline. That's Mark's issue. I have a question here about leveling up through the levels dashboard. Yeah, so if you're asking, when can I level up to level 4, this will actually be done at the end of the month. So you're actually gonna have to hit those revenue and visit marks through a 30-day span. So that'll be from the 1st to the 30th. And then if you hit those criteria from the 1st of the month to the 30th, so that'll have to be from September 1st to December 31st. Then after the next week or so, we'll basically analyze your site and then level you up from there. So just be patient in that. Gruff Web said, I have a lot of revenue. I remember your site actually went live yesterday, so we can kind of go into this in twist. There's a lot of really good questions in here, and I'm afraid if I go too deep, I'm gonna get kicked out of this room, which is gonna be really frustrating. I can definitely help with that. So if you guys do have some of these questions, please just head to twist. And again, if I get kicked out of this meeting room, which I really hope I don't, I'm probably actually just gonna go into another room and see if I can just continue this on in another one. Let me ask Jan if he can get this person to. Let's see if I can have Jan help me hold this room. But yeah, let me just keep going on here. I have a question regarding backlinks. If I get quality backlink on my homepage of my site, the authority of my whole website will increase, right? Yeah, if you're creating backlinks, this is a really, really good practice. If you're creating backlinks that are healthy and they're engaging real users to your site, you'll see nothing but positive benefits from that. Web said, how to remove the first ads placeholders. So now that you're actually showing ads on your domain, as you were saying, one of the worst things you can actually do is to actually delete a placeholder entirely. Not only does this limit the amount of variations your AI can actually test, but you're actually deleting valuable data that the AI has already collected. So if you guys don't know, placeholders actually, hold valuable data. And deleting that placeholder again not only ruins the variation or the variable for our AI to test, but it also deletes the data that placeholder has. But again, I can show you how to do this. But to go on, DZ Gamer says, another amazing name, by the way. Hello, I have same problem, not accepting my site from Google Manager, and I have all the requirements and the acceptable sites that you were mentioned. So DC Gamer, if you actually want to throw your domain down in the comment section, if you missed it before, try to add your domain name without the .com or .org, .net, the XYZ, because sometimes YouTube will actually filter those comments, which is really, really annoying. But again, Grafweb saying he wants to remove the old placeholder. So again, I would suggest not doing that. That is not probably the best practice. But I can show you exactly how to do that. What you can actually do is you can just go into the Chrome extension, activate your placeholders. You can edit them and then actually delete them as they go. But it looks like Jan saved me from this room, so I can actually slow down my roll and go through this, which is good. I'm not getting kicked out. So sorry for being a little bit frantic right there. But GraphWebs, can you actually send me your domain so I can actually check it out? I think I actually remember it. I'm pretty sure it's your username, but I can check into this as well. Mohammed really wants me to check out this EG Kitchen site. Let me do that for you really quick. He wants me to pull it up, and it's only fair that I get to share his domain if I'm also sharing others. So I totally got you. Kitchen.me. Cool. I see you're integrated. Approved for Ezoic monetization. It looks like you do currently have traffic off. Um, but the only thing we're waiting for here in your domain is actually just for Google to review it. So there's actually not a ton you're going to need to do on your end. Let's access the site. I see the issue now. I definitely see the issue now. It's basically a page is loading up just to a GitHub link. The first thing I would like to do, I'm not going to share my screen with you guys exactly yet, is I'm going to check out your DNS settings. I see you have your A records routed through our CDN. Everything's proxying correctly, your root domain as well. I'm not seeing a compatibility issue. So I'm curious what CMS you're using. This is actually going to be something really good for us to work on in Twist, Mohammed, to figure out what exactly is going on here. Sometimes it could be security sending, sometimes it could be previous cache setup, sometimes it's server-side cache, sometimes it's setting in Cloudflare. But this is definitely something we can figure out, and I'm more than happy to. It looks like this objectionable content did spark an interest here and he did discover, let's see, Charlie, I've discovered that I was receiving spam comments on my website and those comments containing objectionable words like Viagra, drug, etc. I then deleted those comments and just blocked commenting on my website totally. When I check on a Zoic dashboard for articles flagged under objectionable content, articles which had these spam comments are still not cleared yet. I was kindly hoping you might help with that since I've already removed these spam comments. Interest. So beautiful. I did say this kind of quickly and briefly before, but once you remove those objectionable content, that objectionable content script runs twice a day. So I'm not sure if that's, over, the 24 span of the day, or maybe if it's twice during our hours of the day. But let's just give it a handful of hours, maybe even to the first thing tomorrow morning, and those should be gone. And then, of course, the last thing we want to do is just to actually go to those pages and to make sure the ads were still showing. Rafa says, I use WordPress Rocket plugin. My Core Web Vitals is good, but when I use Leap feature of Ezoic, I don't know how to get the score in Core Web Vitals. So this is actually just going to require just a touch of patience, because if you are removing WordPress Rocket, you're probably clearing your cache entirely. One of the recent things I learned while doing more, Core Web Vitals research is that there is a direct and important correlation between your cache percentages and your Core Web Vital scores. So the best thing to do is then to enable the Ezoic Cloud caching app, optimize your settings there, and then allow your cache to build up over time. That'll be most directly correlated with LCP. But again, GraphWebs, I know you just went live, so you're probably still on the early side of optimization. Once you do optimize and set up your Leap, the best thing to do is just give it time. Leap, opposed to other page speed tests, is actually very different because Leap analyzes real user data. So if you just push new features or new settings through a new active version of Leap, it's best to just give it like maybe a week or so time, or a couple of days of time for Leap to analyze real user data. And then you can actually see it on a graph chart and kind of see, these changes have been showing an improvement, or the changes I made actually aren't, site speed's getting worse. But again, the best thing to do is just to be patient with that change. Brian M says, when disabling ads by page, do I need to add .html to each, or can I just use the folder, i.e. /shop? So yeah, Brian, if you want to disable it just for a certain page, I would include the entire URL. So if, let's say it was yourdomain.com/shop, you can actually just add it just how you have at the end there. So you can just do /shop. Before you publish that rule, Brian, I want you to make sure that you are just creating the rule just for the page and not the directory. If you were to create this rule for the directory, every single page following /shop will not show ads. You might say, oh, that's an issue. Or you might say, hey, every URL that's following /shop, I don't want to show ads. So then you can actually just say, okay, let's just add that as a directory instead of a single page. GraphWebs actually has a really, really good question here. The best thing to do, so he says, how do I check ads are wrapped but AdSense ads? Because I don't use any plugin in my WordPress site where I add AdSense ads. So if you're actually just using AdSense auto ads, we will automatically remove those AdSense ads from your pages. But if not, a really good way to show it, let me pull up someone's page. You guys mind if I pull up one of your domains really quick just to yeah, I'll show you how to do this really quick because this is actually a really good tool to kind of get familiar with. If you guys are using AdSense ads and not auto, and you are using Ezoic ads, and you're like, hey, you know what, I might be showing AdSense ads alongside Ezoic ads, that's actually a really, really big issue. This will kill EPMV. It'll really hurt user experience. The main reason is our AI has no idea that these ads are on the page because they're not wrapped. And then we'll basically be diluting the content and saturating your pages with ads. So that's why it's really, really crucial and important to make sure that all ads are wrapped in Ezoic code. I want to show you guys once this page loads. Okay, not sure why not all these ads are populating, but I will check into this right after. But to see which ones are wrapped or not, what you guys want to do is you'll go to one of your pages, just like I have here for this website. It's still loading, but essentially I want to go through, you can see these Ezoic placeholders about to fill. I'm kind of scrolling through quickly, so they might feel kind of funny. But basically what I want to do is I want to go to the Chrome extension. I want to activate the placeholders, and this will change all of the Ezoic ads, as you can see here. Hold on, into placeholders, if it does it. Okay, awesome. So you guys see these ads changed into placeholders. Any ad that would still be showing, this is different because this is still our ad, but any ads that would still be showing on the pages that aren't these colored boxes will be AdSense ads. So let's say you had an ad showing right here or something, and the Chrome extension was enabled. This would show that this ad showing is an AdSense ad that needs to be wrapped. So that's going to be your guys' best way to figure out which ads are showing on Ezoic versions. As you can see, these are all Ezoic ads, so that's fine. But again, yeah, you would just activate the Chrome extension, watch that physical ads change to those colored boxes as we saw before, and that'll be basically how you know. Mohammed says, incorrect mediation earnings showing in my Ezoic dashboard. My AdSense, it's different. How to fix it? So Mohammed, this is actually a perfect carryover from what our previous topic of conversation. Most likely what this means is you probably have AdSense ads showing on your Ezoic versions, because if you're seeing a total of $10 in mediation earnings, you will get paid out for those mediation earnings through AdSense. So if you're seeing, oh, I'm actually seeing $20 of revenue in AdSense, not just $10, what that probably means is you have AdSense ads still showing, which is an issue for those reasons I stated before. But yeah, just reach out and we can figure out what exactly the issue is there. But yeah, it's kind of hard to troubleshoot secondhand here, but that's definitely going to be my most immediate quick answer. I just spilled coffee all over my notebook, but that's okay. GrapHweb says, how to remove the ads from my homepage. I just want ads in my blog and article pages. I can just show you firsthand. Great question, because I also think this is a good practice for many. I think having maybe an ad or two on the homepage doesn't hurt UX at all, but not showing ads on your homepage is 100% understandable, and also another good practice. Let me share my. Cool. So if you find yourself in the dashboard, excuse me, I'm going to be taking off my sweatshirt, so I might sound muzzled for a second, but I promise I'm just getting warm in here. What you want to do is you want to go to the monetization tab of your dashboard. From here, you're just going to scroll down a bit. We're going to go down here to find disable ads by page. So this app and feature actually just kind of does exactly what you might suggest by the title of it. You can either turn it on and then go into settings. We want to create a page rule. Sorry. We want to create a page rule here. So what we're basically going to do is we're going to go to a new rule. For the home page, we will just do basically a backslash, right? Because that will basically just be what follows your home page. And then we want to make sure that we just select page here, because if we were to select directory, we would be disabling all pages that follow a backslash, which would be literally every single page, and your revenue would go to 0. But then you would just go here to create rule, and all ads will be disabled for your home page. So it's actually a pretty rather easy, simple fix. Another way you could also do it is just to go actually onto the homepage itself, activate the Chrome extension, and then when you activate the Chrome extension, you can actually just hit, do not show on this page. Yeah, so you guys, I changed mid showing that. You like that? Thank you. Also, just to not run you guys dry and bored, I wanted to show you one of my favorite. Never mind. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you one of my favorite. I was just reading some of these questions to make sure I'm not missing something really crucial and important. But I do want to use this next bit of time just to basically talk about one of the best things you guys can all do moving forward in terms of increasing traffic, increasing revenue, increasing engagement, maybe increasing in excitement in a new era or new feature of website publishing. But I'm going to start what I want to talk about with one of my favorite videos that I saw this morning. From a spoiler standpoint, I love Dale Earnhardt. Of course, this is Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's a professional NASCAR driver, but his dad is one of the most legendary NASCAR drivers ever. And I just wanted to show you this short clip of, this is Dale Earnhardt running through the pit stop after he got in a little bit of a scuffle here. He is a very aggressive, scary, aggressive driver. But like he's literally hanging out of the side of his car, going through pit lane while on some form of a cruise control on a NASCAR powered beast. He's hanging out of the windshield, wiping down the windshield like a psychopath. No seatbelt. That is literally him, the driver, and then he's back into the car in pit lane. Is that relevant to Ezoic? Absolutely not. But is it somewhat connected? Yes. As you guys are probably familiar with, we have actually been pushing Humix, which is basically a video sharing network. So let's say that video of Dale Earnhardt cleaning off his windshield like a psychopath was a video that I owned. I could basically upload that video to Humix. And what Humix will then be a platform for other publishers like Tanzil and all you guys in here to actually use those videos and show them on your actual domain. So yes, you can literally share other people's videos on your own pages. This actually can help increase your own revenue. It can help with actually getting in more traffic. SEMrush recently published something that said, sorry, I wrote it down on my computer because I don't want to misinform you all. But basically, articles with one video receive 83% more traffic on average. Yes, that was sourced from SEMrush, so they are an SEO company. I would say that's a pretty credible source. I wouldn't also say that is also, I'm not saying you can add a video and you'll see 80% increase in traffic, but you will see an increase in revenue and traffic. That stat alone is enough enticement for me myself to be working on creating videos for my own domain. But yeah, I wanted to basically, just use that a little bit. If you guys are saying, hey, I want to further optimize my Ezoic setup, going to Humix and actually setting up those, adding your videos, adding other video placeholders to your pages and other publishers' videos to your pages will really help in many different ways. Oh, he said it's been 3 days since I removed spam comments. So this is definitely something we want to look into. We want to make sure that maybe those pages aren't getting cached, because if those pages are getting cached and recrawled, then we'll basically be crawling the old version of the page that still has the spam comments that we want to remove. Subhan says, hi Charlie, I commented my problem, but when I rejoin, my live question will remove. But then they follow up with the question here, and how to increase my mediation earnings and Ezoic earnings same. So increasing mediation earnings will actually just be from an ad demand perspective. So there's opposed to just, I mean, outside of just setting up mediation, adding AdSense as a mediation partner, there's not much you can do unless you have other ad networks that you also want to mediate. If you guys aren't really familiar with how mediation works, essentially, when you come to Ezoic and let's say you have an ad on your site, a placeholder, when I load the page, we'll have a bunch of different ad networks that are inside our Ezoic sphere of ad networks, the Google ad network, right? Bidding on your inventory. The highest bid will then, their ad will then be showing. What mediation does, this is actually brings other ad networks from AdSense and Ezoic and allows basically a bidder pool of networks to bid on your inventory. So this will basically ensure that you're earning as much as possible for each ad location. This is an incredible feature that is not utilized enough. I also think this is partially on our side. We probably need to put this in your face more to basically show you what it is, how it is, how easy it is to set up, and how beneficial it is. I will say that actually just before this live stream, we had a really exciting company meeting, company wide. We're basically going over the changes that Ezoic is going to be making from a business standpoint. And without going too much into it, it'll basically, it'll be tenfold or 10 times easier for you guys to kind of, utilize all the different features in a much easier way. I can't say too much, but I will say it'll be a lot easier for you guys to earn more, make more, set up easier, optimize easier, and give you access to more features. I'm counting sideways, but that was 5 different things. But yeah, that's basically how you do that through mediation. And then to add to it, I would say I'm gonna use my Dale Earnhardt reference. Adding videos to your site can really drive more traffic and more revenue. That's going to be one of the better things you can do firsthand. Gruff Web says, last question. I want to reset ads, which is created by the Ezoic AI. Ezoic auto ads, Ezoic auto to text showed lots of ads on my site. I want manually changing to apply new ads. I cannot read right now. I want manage manually to apply new ads changing. So if you don't like the way that the AI placeholders are being added to your pages, what you can actually do is just turn off AI placeholders because you can't reset the AI placeholders and adjust them as much. You can actually disable certain AI placeholders if you don't like the location using the Chrome extension now. That's a new feature. But the best thing I would like for you to do is to basically turn off AI placeholders and then go through all of your pages and just add more placeholders using the Chrome extension because that'll give you the flexibility and the creativity and the full control of where you want all your placeholders to exist. The AI placeholders is just a really good feature and tool to have if you don't want to do that. But yeah. Mark says, I think it'll be nice if you can show how to wrap the Google Ads in a Ezoic code. I'm going to agree with you. This will be a really good thing for me to show you guys. I will need to find an actual case for this, which is a little bit hard because if we do find a case of this, we want to kind of correct things as quickly as possible. But if you are saying, I can create a video for you, Mark, I can work on doing that. I will work on that for you, for Mark, for next week, and I'll find a case study. Or maybe if I do find it while going through support or working with you guys over the next week, maybe I'll just screen record for a couple minutes and show you exactly how I do it, so you can do it on your end as well. But again, if you do have the AdSense issue showing, you can reach out to us, and I can actually just configure some of your settings on the back end to just remove all non-Ezoic ads from your Ezoic versions of your site. With how many visitors revenue is starting, it can kind of depend, but sometimes if you have 20 visits, you can see a couple of cents made. Again, it's going to depend on the origin of your traffic, location, device, browser, how they're engaging with your pages, how well they're engaging with your pages, but there's kind of a lot that goes into it. On my AdSense ads wrapped question, you say auto ads are automatically detected by Ezoic and show colored boxes. You just show in the live video, but in my case, I don't show. Okay. Okay, so GraphWebs, this does seem like in your case you are gonna have AdSense ads showing alongside Ezoic ones. I know you've been into Twist, so I do want to work with you directly after this and get that configured correctly because this will hurt user experience, which will then turn into lower earnings. Um, so yeah, so you're saying that right then, I think my ads are not wrapped. But yeah, I can definitely check it out. If you want to show me your website, I can actually. I'm not. Oh, see, GraphWebs, you say my in one of your previous comments here. If you guys can see, it says my site is. For whatever reason, YouTube is filtering out these comments, even though I turned that setting off. So if you could just write your domain name without the .com or without the ending of it, just add your domain name and say, hey, my domain name is, maybe space it out the way Mark did beautifully up here. I'll show you. So he put his domain like this with spaces, so I can actually just copy and write that in. But he said he was actually having site speed issues along with the site going down. So I kind of just want to circle back. Mark, hopefully you're here with me still. But I want to circle back and answer this for you and kind of check things out from my perspective. Cool. Let's pull up dashboard and also flip your domain. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Mark, I hope you're still with me because I think I owe you this explanation. Oh, Fasil, I want to answer this question really quick. So upgrading from Access Now to level 1 actually does not improve EPMB. You don't get more ad networks until you go from level 2 to level 3. But there are things we can touch on about increasing EPMB from Access Now to level 1. But let's go into his site speed issue, and sometimes the site goes offline. Cool. I have his domain pulled up. Let me share my screen. Hopefully you guys are finding like the sharing screen part beneficial. I'll be more happy to do more of less of this in the future or wherever you guys prefer. But the first thing I like to do is I'd like to start off with um, the dashboard here. Um, Basically, what I like to look at your cache. We talked about this a bit earlier. If you are making changes, this is understandable. But if not, let's just allow this to increase. That will basically be the biggest improvement to site speed from a short-term perspective. Next, I'm going to go under the speed tab of your dashboard. It looks like, since you are seeing such low visits, we do want to wait more time to actually get this data to populate. This is probably one of the best features, or yeah, I'm gonna say one of the best because there's a lot, but one of the best features that Leap actually kind of uses is that it'll actually analyze your core web vitals based off real user data. It won't run a lab type report like you guys can do here, but like that's how PageSpeed does it. PageSpeed will basically access or analyze your pages as it was like a bot just scanning it, but this will show real user data. Some of the most immediate changes is you have a ton of plugins getting flagged for moderate impact and severe impact. So the best thing to do is kind of like go through these, and if they're not essential to your setup, then just get rid of them. I know I saw web stories and AMP. That gets me a bit worried because both of those kind of kill your revenue, but we can go into that later. Next thing I'll do is I'll go into Core Web Vitals. So you can kind of filter through both LCP, FID, and CLS. And then we can actually test your worst performing pages. This will be lab data, not real user data. But again, this is a really good way to do it. And then basically once we get these worst performing pages to load, which might take a minute because there's not a ton of data on this yet, we can actually just test this in the Ezoic lab to see what changes we want to make. So once we go into the Ezoic lab, you can see the URL propagates directly to here. We're already analyzing. This will basically check out all your scripts, your plugins, your technology, your caching, It'll also flag, if LCP is what we're going to analyze. It'll also tell you the element that has the largest basically loading and what's basically going to be, hindering site speed the most. But yeah, you can actually see this here. So from a scanning input, LCP is taking a pretty good hit here. 5.9 seconds is definitely slow. It does look like this image is being flagged as the largest element on the page. But we can also see a couple other things here, like a couple of the major ones, reduce unused CSS. You can and then go, you can then go in to see some of the scripts that are getting run. Obviously, minify CSS is not enabled here. So that is going to be, a pretty clear indication of how to improve site speed. So the three things I would say is minimize your plugins usage, optimize all these features through Leap, which is nearly all the way done. And then also finally, increasing your cache. Those will basically be the three things from there. But another really cool way to actually do this is, let's say we were to go to this page right here. Let it load. We can actually now use the Chrome extension to analyze your pages right here. So look, we can analyze this page using Leap with the Chrome extension. So yeah, we say CLS, there's a warning. It's actually not even taking that long. But it'll basically flag all these things here. So you have a ton of technology running on this page, which will really hurt. And then look, we can even go LCP needs improvement, CLS good, technology. Again, we're going to see all these things that are recommended, not recommended, things that are fast, etc. And then we can actually use this to see if this is actually routing through our CDN, which it totally is. So we actually don't need to look into that, but that's what it looked like. Hopefully that was beneficial, Mark, and to you all. I know that I answered that a bit late, so please forgive me. Annex, oh nice, welcome back. Sorry I'm so late. No need to apologize. No need to apologize at all. They say just came in to check if any other publishers got hit by the recent updates. Feels so demotivating. Uh, um, sorry, I was reading the following question, but yeah, this is unfortunate for some, fortunate for others. We're kind of just, playing Google's game at this point. We're kind of abiding by their rules, making changes and kind of, just basically going off the changes they make. So yes, this hurts my heart, and I want to hit Google for you and say, you're screwing over our publishers. They worked really hard for these rankings, and just because now what you guys want to quantify is whatever content you want to show, others are going to be, seeing serious repercussions for this. So I'm gonna cross my fingers and say hopefully no one else in this live stream has gotten hit by that update. But Annex, I'm really sorry that did happen. That's super annoying. Brian, I'm gonna try to circle back to your question above. Oh yeah, I did cover the disable ads by page question. Cool. Oh, it's YouTube policy. So I actually thought I went through and changed the settings so you guys can basically comment what you would like. But again, just say in the comment, my domain name is, and then add spaces between the domain itself. So maybe we can bypass Google's policies a little bit. Getting a little suspect, but I'm here to help you guys. That's about it. Oh, I've written my domain name 3 times after you asked it. Maybe it's getting filtered out. Yeah, that's really annoying. But see how Subhan did it right here. He kind of spaced out his domain name with spaces between the characters. That will really help. But that's really annoying because I did change all the settings. We are actually making some changes, some really exciting ones in terms of where we're going to offer support without giving too much away. But let's just say it'll give us a lot more control over what we want to post and show. And then we're actually gonna, try to see if we can incorporate the live streams through there. So we basically just open the floodgates to however we want to do it. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, sometimes I get a little behind on the questions, but I promise I won't miss any on purpose. Oh yes, Sport Life. I do see your thing now. Let me pull it up really quick. Sorry. Okay, now that I have your domain name pulled up, let me remember exactly what the question was. Yes, it is visible. .com. Awesome. Sorry, I'm trying to find your original question. Darn it. Forgive me, I forget your original question. Now that I have your domain, I missed the question. Sport Life, can you throw your comment in really quick to the bottom? I'll give you a second. But I totally forget what your question was. But no, I promise. No, I'm not skipping over any comments. So if you guys are sitting there saying, "Hey, Charlie, what the heck?" I keep on asking this question and you're never answering it. I promise I'm not skipping over any questions in the comments. They're probably just getting filtered out, which is yeah, really annoying. But Sport Life, please can you remind me of your question really quick while I have your site pulled up? Oh, improving views and revenue on the site. Okay, so yeah, I mean, let me just pull up your site and we can kind of see, where you can kind of um, make changes from there. Hold on. So the first thing I like to do when I troubleshoot is just to pull up data. If we have access to so much data for the info linkers, I can definitely check that out in a second. Just give me some time. I know you've commented it down there a couple times. Boom. Cool. So you know the main concern here is, he's saying, hey, I've written all these articles. Why aren't I seeing more revenue? And basically how you can increase it. The first thing I would like to do in terms of just increasing and optimizing revenue, let's go into the monetization tab of your dashboard. If you were previously using AdSense, it is really good to link your AdSense up with Ezoic. We can actually import historical data, which will give our AI more data to further learn your site. Not only will it help further learn your site, but it'll actually serve as basically a catalyst of learning your site. There is a correlation between more data and to better EPMV will be. Looks like you have not added AdSense as a mediating partner yet. So again, if you were using AdSense prior to Ezoic, this will be a huge immediate benefit to EPMV. I'm kind of just looking through things here. I want to make sure you're not, you don't have too much enabled here, because if you are limiting the amount of ads to show, that of course will hurt revenue. Everything here looks fine. This is where you can check your approved by Google. This looks beautiful. So good job there. One thing I want to make sure is just, let's do the objectionable content check. Cool. So now let's go into the data bit. Let's go into the analytics. This is kind of a random question, but I'm currently drinking a very sugary vanilla coffee. While it's delicious, it's got a little bit too much sugar. So if you guys have a drink of choice, I'm curious what it is. Feel free to throw it in the comment section. So actually, EPMB for a couple of these days is really solid. So it is definitely just going to be in terms of limiting your traffic. I mean, excuse me, of increasing your traffic. But let's look at some of the landing pages that kind of perform best for you, and maybe go from there. So you actually have a couple. Let's filter by views. Um, See results from a personal trainer, another personal trainer, personal trainer. Okay, most of these are personal trainer. They're all personal trainer. Um, Engagement is really good. EPMV is great on this one. This one is a little bit lower. It looks like this could be some potentially of your own. Let's pull this over. Beautiful. So we can see EPMV dips a little bit more on this page. We can kind of go in and see why. But yeah, I think in terms of increasing traffic is I remember. Oh, Michael, of course. Oh my gosh, you've been with Ezoic for a while. I remember your site for a good minute. But yeah, I actually really love this domain. This is a really good one. But I do think, reaching out and trying to figure out maybe your best SEO practices will basically be your best step forward in terms of really seeing more revenue. I see you have a mid. I don't know why this is not scrolling. I don't know if you want this to be scrolling with the page, but that's something we can work on. Sorry, I'm kind of just scrolling up and down this. Hopefully, none of you guys are epileptic. Will give you guys a seizure. Let's check out your placeholder setup. So a lot of WordPress placeholders. These look great. So we have a sidebar middle here, which is why. Michael, I would highly suggest adding a sidebar floating below here, if that's okay. I won't do it without, because this is your domain, this is your control. But definitely there's a handful of placeholders you could add using the Chrome extension, specifically down in this area of your site and bottom of the page. But again, in terms of optimizing traffic, as I mentioned before, I would actually really highly suggest checking out Humix. That's where you can use that video network to add your own, and then also use others. Yeah, Annex is exactly right here. Finding the keywords that actually people are looking for. But yeah, I would actually really suggest going into Humix and maybe uploading some videos there or using other videos to actually show onto your pages. I again want to read that stat that I actually pulled this morning, and it was, again, articles with one video receives 83% more traffic on average. That was directly from SEMrush. SEMrush is a SEO specialized company, so they are very credible in this aspect. But again, I'm not sharing, am I still? No. Cool. But Mark, yeah. Michael, why was I saying Mark? Michael, sorry. Michael, I can definitely help you out with that. If you also, Michael, if you want to go into Twist, I'll be more than happy to help you out with that. DC Gamer says, I was rejected twice because of the content, but the content I provide is all original, coordinated, and full of information. And I do not know why I'm being rejected. Is this for Ezoic or is this for Ad Manager? Because if it's for Ezoic, I can offer a lot more insight, and if it's for Ad Manager, I can also add a lot of insight, but less of it. It also looks like I missed some questions above. Arabic trading. Okay, awesome. Let me check out your thing really quick, DZ Gamer. Let me check this out and see exactly what invite you're talking about. Cool. Approved by Ezoic. Okay, and you're denied by Google Ad Manager for low value content. So let me show you a couple things. I'm going to share my screen again. Cool. So now we're in here. So if you actually, if you're in the Ezoic dashboard and saying, okay, I was denied, what the heck's going on? This will be the Google step entirely. This is the account status. It has been approved. That is beautiful. The second is you'll see your domain has been disapproved by Google. Reason is low value content. And we actually have a really good article I can show you. I can send in the chat really quick. Let me pull it up. Let me just Ezoic. This will cover basically all the reasons why you can and could not get denied. But if we go into here, let me pull up your domain really quick. So when I see the reason for low value content or low value, whatever that Google says, I'm just gonna put this in English just for my own sake. The first thing I always do is I'm actually just gonna scan the page, and then right after that, I'm gonna be going into the menu because this seems that low value content for whatever reason. This is where Google starts to freak out for whatever reason. So if I were to go into this first category, I can see one article, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So that's great. So sometimes this low value content reason for the denial is actually just because you don't have enough articles showing underneath the categories of this menu. So let's say if I were to click on this trading education and I were to see one, two, three, four videos and none after that, I know for a fact Google will be denying this domain because there's not 6 articles underneath this category of the menu. Another reason why they deny for low value content is, let's say this article, technical analysis, how to trade technical analysis patterns in the currency market. If this article were to appear under both trading education and cryptocurrency lessons, Google will then also deny it for low value content just because the article shows under both categories. So the next thing I'm going to do is, familiarize myself, technical analysis, currency market, explanation of Fibonacci ratios, support and resistance, top 5. Cool articles, by the way. This is, super interesting. Very relevant for a lot of people. Super cool. So now I'm going to go to the next category here. What are digital cryptocurrencies? How to buy and trade? Comprehensive guide. So again, I'm seeing more than 6 articles, which is awesome. I'm not seeing any repeats from the first category to the second. Then when I go to this one, it seems like it has like a drop down, which is pretty cool. But this one also has 6 articles, and it seems like it also has more. That's awesome. And then if I go to main, yeah, this all looks fine. One thing I would suggest adding is add your privacy policy and contact us into the menu here. But if you actually have articles showing in these categories like this, oh, I know these are all just the same ones. Sorry. But yeah, honestly, this looks pretty solid. I'm gonna have to do a lot more, digging on my end. I do want to check something really quick. So hold on. I see lots of content on the page. That's great. I know I stopped sharing this, but just give me a second. Okay, so part of the issue is what I'm seeing now is that there are actually a lot of articles with the same content scraped verbatim. So that's probably going to be the reason why Google is denying your site for low value content. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I would probably have to look into this after as well because you are not allowed to monetize articles that are not original. But that's going to be the reason why Google is denying your site is because I was seeing there was scraped content on your site. Nobi says, I didn't get invited to Ezoic Premium, even I have crossed the $5,000 now. So sometimes purely revenue numbers are not what's going to get you invited to Premium. Sometimes the best thing to do is actually stay with Ezoic over, a handful of months. Not only that, but continue to improve and work on your site. Because if we do see constant and steady progress, that tells us that the publisher is still willing and ready to work hard and go the extra mile to further improve their site because those are the types of publishers that they want to reach out to. As you guys know, Premium is an invite only project or kind of aspect right now, so we can't really go into that. But yeah, please for this flagged content, please reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to go into this. But pull it up in Twist, and I'll be more than happy to go into it. And is there something you want me to look into specifically with your site? I'll be more than happy to do that. Mark, to answer your question, yes, you can use Leap to remove unused CSS. So there's an optimization feature there. You can simply just click on minify CSS, and then basically from there, I want you just to preview your page to make sure everything works and still looks the same, and then go from there. See the best places says, if we weren't using AdSense before, how important is it to create and link an AdSense account? So in terms of the linking it, we won't obviously be importing any historical data. So that's not where you see the benefit from. The major benefit you'll see is getting access to the AdSense partners that do not exist in Ezoic. So then from what you can do there, see the best places is enable mediation, as we were showing earlier, and enabling mediation will allow the AdSense partners to also bid with the Ezoic partners. So now again, your pool of networks is much bigger. And then verbatim, what I'm going to say again is that this will basically ensure that you're earning as much as possible for each ad location, regardless if you're on AdSense or not. Humix setting, which is best for video ads. So I actually have a pretty good article. I'd rather just add to here because it is a good bit of information. I do think adding videos will be a really good walkthrough in terms, from my end, and I'm more than happy to do that. But I will need to find a case for next week and do this. While I also mention next week, I want to give you guys all the opportunity to answer this first because we are going to be planning on doing more of these live streams throughout the week. They might not be 2 hours each, but I'm thinking, maybe we can do like 30-minute live streams like 4 or 5 times a day. So if you guys are sitting here saying, hey, this works out for me now, but I'm also very live and I'm very, I'm really working on my site during this time of the week on this day. So please just feel free to comment down below, be like, hey, I would love to also see live streams be done on Monday or Tuesday, maybe at 2:30 or maybe at the end of the day, maybe at the beginning of the day. But honestly, I'm gonna let you guys be the first pick here and say, since you guys are already the ones with me, that might also not be my best sample. But if you guys are also very active on other times of the week or part of the day, let me know, and I can also run live streams during then. I kind of want to branch out these live streams to cover more site specific things. I want to go into much more detail. But yeah, let me know what would work best for you guys, and we can kind of start scheduling more throughout the next couple weeks. Tashell Media says, hey Charlie, may you kindly check out my comment and post it on Facebook? Thanks. I'm not seeing any comment through Facebook. Let me pull it up on my computer. I'm not seeing anything there, but please let me know what it is. I'll be more than happy to cover it up. Suban says, is it okay, Charlie, to add one same article on two websites with a little bit of changing? So if most of the article is going to be the same as it is on another site, I would say to not do this because Google, as you guys know, is getting a lot better at flagging these types of things. So that could hurt your rankings. That Google could even flag you as having scraped content. You can get AdSense disablement, which will then, we'll have to turn off Ezoic, or vice versa. Sometimes we might find this and flag this as scraped content. So I would say this is just not a good practice in general, and let's just try to avoid that. Yes, and of course, I would love to. Annex was basically saying that he got hit by the recent Google update, but he still has a good experience according to Google Search Console. Can you check if I did leap correctly? Yes, let me pull that up right now. Oh, I know this site. Annex, I'm so happy you're back. I know this site like the back of my hand. I am a little bit extra mad now knowing that Google hit your site because, yeah, I mean, right around when the update went down, I mean, your traffic did go down quite a good bit. That's super annoying. But it does look like EPMB's, EPMB and earnings is actually still up, which is pretty incredible. That does show. Wow, your EPMB is incredible. That is amazing. Um, $51 EPMV on the 12th. That is beautiful. But yeah, let's check out your core web vitals. Let me share my screen for you all. And as I say this is going to sound a little bit contrary to what is going to be shown here, but this will also apply to you, Michael, as well. Google is actually using Core Web Vitals as a ranking factor. Annex's Core Web Vitals are actually solid. So this is, there's obviously a lot of other things that go into this play. But Michael, I know you were talking earlier about yeah, but Subhan, I saw your info linkers comment. We did talk about this a lot of times in Twist recently, which is why I am going over it, like kind of passing it right now, because we have going on it over it a bunch. But I'm more than happy to do that again. But let's just do that in Twist and not in live support, because let's use this time now to like kind of troubleshoot things, and not simply just reanalyze. Share screen. Bear with me now. Cool. Okay, so Annex was basically asking, did I set up Leap correctly? By the looks of it, yes, this is very impressive. This is absolutely beautiful. This is awesome. But unfortunately, as you guys can see, let's look at the analytics report for the past some days. So if we want to compare, let's do 14 days. So 2 weeks, let's compare to the previous, because this was basically, oh wait, no. I actually think the Google update was right here, huh? So let's do here to here to there. And then let's do compares for the previous. So as you guys can tell, this is going to be a little bit sad to see. But as you guys can see right around the update, Google just says, I'm going to be a jerk. But oh, these are comparing specific days to specific days. But you can still see that the latter is still lower, which is unfortunate. 39%, 14%, average to above 16. This could still show positive if you guys have published new articles and whatnot. But let's go back to the dashboard. Let's go back into Leap a little bit more. So yeah, I can actually, so if I were to just wanted to quickly check out my LCP, I can actually just click on it right here. But in terms of, our SOPs, our standard authorized procedures or whatever it's called, let's just go through it this way. The first thing I always check out is the recommendations. He has a couple here, but not a lot. Oh wait, images loaded. And actually converted for media. It looks like both of these things probably have some image optimization or media optimization. So if you do have image optimization and Leap enabled, this could be just creating more of a loading, more loading of script on the back end, but also will create issues with obviously the images with image settings here. You already have lazy load images, next gen formats, resize images, but preload background images and set explicit height and width. These will both help with LCP a ton. Your caching is already pretty damn near dialed in, so that's beautiful to see. But you can actually see all of the different things here that could be enabled. Minify CSS, that'll also help. So there's actually a handful of settings that can be enabled to help. One thing I'll say, so it's like if I did want to change this, if I were to hit change settings and then enable these, you'll get hit with the preview screen. So you can basically preview your site before you fully activate Leap. Go through all your pages, not all your pages, but go through a lot of pages top to bottom just to make sure that there are no issues with that new version of Leap. But yeah, Annex, this is going to basically be, the first step forward is checking out these settings and enabling them, and then going back into the technologies and removing ones like these because oh, it looks like it also costs something, which is not ideal. But look, it also gives you these other ones. But again, this can also just be done through Ezoic Leap, which is a much better and faster and simpler tool set to use. But again, we could go into LCP. Let's see if there's some pages that are performing worse. Go overview, mobile LCP, remaining rather constant. And then again, we can just go through and analyze specific pages. It will probably give us similar results, but let's just check it out. Thank you for bearing with me, guys, today. I know, we did a lot of screen sharing and kind of waiting and loading and whatnot, but hopefully this is more beneficial for you all. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, so yeah, again, not enabled will be a massive improvement for LCP. But again, yeah, it's 2.6, so it needs improvement, but it's not bad. Pretty good stuff there, Next. Thanks for letting me share your screen. Oh, nice. Yeah, if you also want to update your theme to a faster one, there's a really good article that Ezoic has. And it basically goes into which themes we actually suggest. The main reason why we suggest them is because they're actually simpler. Simpler as in less to load. Less to load means faster load. Faster load means better UX. Better UX means better revenue. It all circles back, and they all play intertwined together. Oh, I hit the very end of August. But yeah, I'm sorry about the annex. That's really annoying. Mark, great idea. For the live, why don't you just set up a Google Calendar so that everyone can select the days and time they are available? Not a bad idea. I just need to think about the best way I can get that out, the invitation out to you all, so you guys can all do it. But then Mark says, you can then aggregate everybody that is within a time frame. You get a better time with respect to your own office program. Great. I mean, that's a really good idea. Actually, we updated some of the entry and exit surveys to basically see maybe when the best time of the day was. So I can also use some of that data to also come to this equation. But at the end of the day, I think I would rather just run more of these than less of them. I want, maybe all the new users that are coming through our program to basically use this time. I think it's beneficial. I think it's also great because it shows that us over here on the Access Now team, we're real people. Not only that, but we love our publishers in the Access Now program. I think it's different in other, in higher levels and whatnot because, this is a full-time business and whatnot. But I think this is way, way better and cooler working with you all because you guys are very dedicated, really dedicated, hardworking publishers. You guys are also very appreciative for the thing. So I personally am very thankful for you guys. You guys are honestly the best. I'm just about caught up on all these questions, so I'm gonna start wrapping things up here. But I just wanted to first say, thank you guys so much for coming. This is, as you guys know or are learning, this is my favorite part of the week. Allows me to just, be myself and talk to you guys, get in touch on a personal level. But also it allows me to give you guys the best insight of what I do on my end, the best practices for you all on your end. I'm going to be, we have a lot of really exciting updates for the company in the next 30 to 45 days. So without getting in trouble with the marketing team, I'm going to leave it at that. But it'll be really, really exciting stuff, not just for us internally, but for you all as well. Implementation for features and is going to be so much easier. So that's going to be awesome. And I think that's also when like these live streams will be really beneficial because when we do make these big changes, I can actually show you that big changes aren't scary and they're always for the greater good. I choose if I hit the premium invite. Yeah, please keep me in the loop, and I'd love to help. Feel free to reach out. But yeah, see the best places. I'm happy you joined from Virginia. I'm very, very happy to help. I'm so happy you guys all join. I do. I love our publishers and the Access Now. You guys are really, really awesome. I know you guys are real people just like us. So yeah, we do want to give you all the attention and effort in the world. And I will continue to do that. But the best way sometimes I can give you guys the better help is just to let me know what I can do better and different. Sometimes I want you to say, hey, Charlie, 2 hours is too long. That's ridiculous. Or, hey, Charlie, too much screen sharing. Let's do less of that. So I'm willing to do whatever is best for you all in the long run. Annex is actually not a real person. He's a sentient AI, as you guys can tell. But honestly, no, I really do appreciate you guys coming. I love doing this. But before I go off and sign off, I do want to just touch up on the affiliate contest again, because this is such a good opportunity for you guys to earn money, especially if you have a good network of other publishers. I'll say it again. We had a publisher in the Access Now program refer a publisher that had that was doing $100,000. I'm gonna just highlight this real quick. Who's doing $100,000 in revenue in a month. 3% of $100,000 in a month continued is ridiculous. Not only that, but you're going to be getting $100 spike. So let's say after the first month, you're getting $3,100 in revenue. Incredible. And you can refer as many people as you want. You can affiliate as many people as you want. There's not a limit. The more the better. But Suban, I don't think I missed your questions. This was the info linkers one. We did cover it yesterday, and I'm more than happy to cover it again. But let's just do it in Twist, because we have all the information there, and we've kind of talked about it there. But again, I love doing this. Thank you guys so much for joining. Please give me some feedback, insight, or if say, hey, Charlie, let's do one on Tuesday. Let's do one on Monday. Let's do 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon. I'm more than happy to do it all. But I'm happy you guys are saying, this is helpful. Hopefully I don't bore you to death. I'm going to try to make these more interactive in the future. I'll try to find more video clips. I'm going to get some more data for you guys. But I really want to use this time to basically, give you guys the inside scoop. And basically, once you guys come here, I want you guys to be walking away just as much of an expert as I am, or lack of an expert. I don't think I'm an expert. We're all still learning. But yeah, go to affiliate.com.ezoic. You can simply just fill out your domain name, email your name. You'll complete a really short coursework basically on just how this whole program works and the best practices and whatnot. And then again, if you refer a publisher with $10, you get a $10 match. If a publisher makes $100 of revenue that you refer, they get $20. You get $20 cash bonus. And then if you refer someone they're doing $200, you get $50. And if someone's doing $400 in a month, you get $100. So let's again use the $100 revenue mark as an example. You refer someone that gets $100 in a month, you get $20 automatically to your account. Don't have to do anything. Automatic $20, and then you're still getting 3% of $100. So if you do 3% over 12 months, 3 times 36, that's $36. So you'll be getting $56 in included revenue just for referring one publisher that does $20 in a month. So I just want you guys to just see this as an opportunity to just earn more. Reach out to your friends. I'll also say think about the publishers you want to bring on in your affiliate program. Rohan, we can cover your question too if you want to go into Twist really quick. I am going to get kicked out of here. But one last time, thank you guys so much for joining. You guys are all the best. I will see you next week. I'm honestly going to schedule one for next week on Tuesday starting now. Just for now, I'll put it into Twist and I'll send out emails and we can, I'll try to market this the best so you guys can all see it coming. Mark, I think that's a really, really good idea with the Google Calendar, and we can kind of aggregate that data from there. That's definitely something I'm going to steal from you. So great idea. I'll give you credit for that. But yeah, if you guys have any other feature requests, if you guys have any complaints, please just let me know. I'm not here to sit here on a Ezoic side and say, this is Ezoic and this is us. I'm trying to, create the connection between us, and the best I can advocate for you all. I can also do the same to Ezoic, so I can bring all your guys' insight directly to the CEO. He sits right across from me. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, good luck to everyone. I hope you guys have a safe Thursday. We're almost to Friday. Have a safe and fun weekend. Just as important as it is to write a bunch of content and work really hard, it's just as important to take some time off, let your mental health, regenerate. That's always the primary key. Keep having fun with your publishing, write about the things you have, you enjoy and care about. But then again, just keep having fun with it. Keep yourself sane. If you guys need help, reach out whenever you need it, and we'll do everything in our power to help. But then again, thank you everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.